This is Booked for Drama, where stories burn, hearts break, the tea is always hot and never a part 2. Today we're diving into After Being Bitten to Death by a Fox I Was Reborn. Let's go. Chapter 1. My brother found a fox in a graveyard. I said foxes are too wild to tame and urged him to get rid of them. That fox held a grudge against me. When no one was looking, it killed my child and devoured him. My husband, furious, wanted to kill the fox. But my brother and sister-in-law stood in its defense, saying, "It's just a critter. What does it know?" After escaping, the fox returned with a bear to my son's funeral, slaughtering our entire family. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day my brother found the fox. This time, I'd make them pay. Sharp teeth of the bear pierced through my stomach, tormenting me for 2 hours before I finally closed my eyes, unwilling to die like this. My husband was lying beside me, frozen in the act of pushing me away, his arm outstretched. But it was too late. The bear and fox moved too fast for any human to escape. Regretful tears slid from the corner of my eyes. If I had another chance, I'd stop this tragedy. This fox is so skinny, so pitiful. Let's take it home and raise it. I opened my eyes to see my brother, Jack, picking up a scrawny fox from beside a grave with no tombstone. Its reddish-brown fur lacked luster, patchy from malnutrition, with bald spots making it look especially ugly. As he lifted it, dirty fur fell down in clumps. A foul stench wafted over. I instinctively shielded my pregnant belly, stepping back. The fox's sharp teeth glinted in the dark of the night, they seemed capable of tearing through anything. My body trembled, the sound of flesh ripping from a lifetime ago echoing in my ears. A cold breeze sent a shiver down my spine. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. A lifetime ago, I'd advised Jack against keeping it, and the fox held a grudge against me. This time, I wouldn't say a word. My sister-in-law, Emily, frowned. "Claire's pregnant. It's filthy and probably carries viruses. Get rid of it." Her words made the fox's gaze snap to me. I quickly said, "Emily, it's fine. I think it's kind of cute actually. Besides, we're in separate cars, it won't affect my baby." Emily blinked, surprised. "Didn't you hate furry animals? And this is a wild fox. Who knows what diseases it carries? How much my child must have suffered." Suddenly, my belly moved, as if my baby had kicked. Snapping out of memories, I realized I was crying. My unborn child, sensing my distress, was comforting me. I placed my hand on my belly, tracing his tiny foot. My heart trembled. In this life, I'd protect my child at all costs. I smiled. "It'll probably just cause allergies. I'll be careful. It looks like it's about to rain. Let's take it home for now." Emily pursed her lips. "Tommy's in our car. If you want it, put it in yours." I noted her resistance, confused. A lifetime ago, she was the first to support Jack's decision of keeping the fox. Then I realized, she was using me. Before I could respond, Jack eagerly carried the fox to his car. "Why the fuss? I'm keeping it, and no one's stopping me. Get in." With Jack's word, Emily, however reluctant, complied. She grabbed the fox by its scruff and tossed it into the trunk. The fox flailed, screeching, rolling several times before coming to a stop. Jack saw it but didn't care, slamming the trunk close and driving home. Clearly, he didn't care much for the fox, just a whim that he decided to keep it. After they left, I touched my belly, feeling my baby's presence. I still felt like none of this was real. A lifetime ago, after giving birth, I passed out from exhaustion. My mother-in-law went home to cook, and my husband, Mark, was called away by a nurse. In just 10 minutes, disaster struck. When I woke up again, their faces were grim, no trace of joy left. Under my insistence, they told me my child was dead. Seeing him in the morgue, my whole world collapsed. His tiny face was ashen, his neck, thinner than my finger, bore 2 gaping blood holes. His baby suit, soaked in blood, had lost its original color. He'd just been born. He hadn't even opened his eyes yet. Rage consumed me. After watching surveillance footage of the hospital, my tears fell uncontrollably. The video showed the fox hiding in a nurse's cart, slipping into my room with practiced ease. The camera didn't capture what happened inside the ward, but I heard my child's agonizing cries. With the bloody holes on his neck, the truth was clear. A beast had snuck into my room in broad daylight to kill my newborn son. I sobbed, collapsing in pain. Chapter 2. Jack and Emily lived across from us. Since adopting the fox, I could often hear them arguing. Jack insisted foxes were carnivores, needing meat every day. Emily retorted, saying that a beast should be grateful for leftovers. Raising a dog would be more useful. She scolded Jack for earning too little to support her and their son, Tommy, let alone buy meat for a beast. Furious, Jack didn't come home for a week. My mother-in-law, Linda, hearing this, invited Emily over for dinner to sort things out. But Emily already had a plan. During the meal she hinted that the fox should stay with us. Linda hesitated, glancing at me. Claire's due in a month. It's inconvenient. What's inconvenient? Emily snapped. Experts say kids around animals build immunity. When Claire's baby's born, it'll have a playmate. Win-win. Mom, you're just biased. When I had my kid, you didn't care half as much if my family did everything for me. Linda waved her hands, denying it. What are you talking about? Don't think like that. I sneered inwardly. When Emily had her premature baby, Linda barely slept, staying at the hospital round the clock. Emily's mom, however, showed up for 10 minutes before her discharge. If that was called doing everything, then Linda had treated Emily like royalty. Linda pretended to placate her, but she was no fool. Knowing my allergies, she'd never agree to keep the fox at my place. As they talked, I tore a piece of chicken from my plate and tossed it onto the floor. The fox looked up, surprised. I pointed to the meat. It was clever, crawling to snatch it up. After eating, it wagged its tail, staring at the chicken on my plate greedily. I tossed it in more pieces. It ate faster each time, as if knowing I'd only feed it after it finished. Half the chicken was gone before I'd eaten much. My stomach growled, but when I picked up my fork, the fox rested its head on my lap, whining. Impatient, it clawed my leg, urging me to feed it. A beast is a beast, greedy and selfish, no matter how smart it is. Its sharp claws tore my favorite dress. Without it, my leg would have been torn too. Jack and Emily hadn't taken it to a vet who knew if it carried rabies. What are you doing? Emily noticed, smacking the chicken from my fork and glaring at me. It's just a fox. It'll eat anything. If you make it picky, you'll take the responsibility? She yanked the fox's leash, choking it until its eyes rolled. All you do is eat. One day, I'll roast you. The fox yelped, baring its teeth at her. Chapter 3. Emily, enraged, dropped her fork, dragging the fox home. You dare snarl at me? Know who feeds you? Ungrateful beast. She seemed to vent her anger at Jack on the fox. This punishment lasted longer than usual. At night, as I set down my phone, a wailing howl came from outside, like the ghostly cries I heard during my insomnia a lifetime ago. I grabbed a kitchen knife and crept to the door. Peering through the peephole, I saw two pairs of glowing green eyes at Emily's doorstep. Sensing me behind the door, they turned. I flinched, the knife clattering against the door, accidentally turning on the hallway's motion light. The sudden brightness made me blink. When I looked again, only the fox remained, curled up in a cage, alone. Seeing me, it struggled to its trembling legs, wagging its tail and whining eerily in the silent hall. I stayed alert, pulling out prepared jerky and tossing it into the cage. That's all I have for you. The fox, smelling meat, spun at it excitedly. Before I could let go, it lunged at me, nearly biting off my hand. I dodged just in time. Watching it gulp the jerky down, I pictured it devouring my child a lifetime ago. Imagining his pain, I wanted to smash the cage and kill it. I clenched my fists tight, nails digging into my palms, barely able to suppress my rage. Days later, Jack returned with good news. The old houses were listed for demolition, promising a hefty payout. When Mark and I got married, my father-in-law promised the old house to whoever took care of them in old age. With him gone now, Jack pestered Linda to transfer it to him. Linda knew fully well how Jack and Emily treated her and her late husband. But, worn down by Jack's whining, she reluctantly asked me if she could give Jack the smaller house, leaving the larger one for us. I nodded, unbothered. Mark and I had built wealth through our business. The house's value, though decent, we could earn in a year or two with our own efforts. No need to stress Linda. Jack, seeing my agreement, rushed home. As he opened the door, the fox leapt into his arms, its eyes on his shoulder eerily human, brimming with grievance. Chapter 4. A chill ran through me. Foxes hold grudges, and with Jack backing it, Emily's days would be tough. Every glimpse of it reminded me of my child's death, urging me to kill it. But it wasn't the right time. A lifetime ago, my sudden labor meant the hospital and my ward were decided last minute, only shared with Jack and Emily. Even if the fox overheard the address, it couldn't have crossed half the city undetected. That afternoon, after my checkup, I returned to find Linda stuffing the fridge with expensive ingredients, including an expensive crab. My hand shook as I asked, Mom, did you buy all this? She shook her head. Emily brought it, said it was from a supplier of Jack's company, to improve quality of life for employees. I checked the shrimp and crab were long dead. Everyone knows dead crab is toxic. Did Emily not know? Then I recalled what happened a lifetime ago, Linda's food poisoning from Emily's seafood. I escaped it due to pregnancy, but Linda was hospitalized for a week and nearly died. A shadow flashed across my eyes. I grabbed the bag of seafood and knocked on Emily's door. She saw the bag and changed her expression. Why bring back a gift? If you don't want it, Mom and Mark do. I'd anticipated this, opening the bag. Then these are from you too? If so, I'll keep them. Lately, the fox, to thank me, had been stealing Emily's jewelry, leaving it at my door. When I stepped out, it'd wag its tail, fawning. I'd return them now. Emily glanced inside, her face darkened. She snatched the bag and rushed to check the surveillance cameras. I'd never entered her home since the fox arrived. Obviously I was not the thief. Soon, the fox's piercing screams echoed, sounding almost human. Listening closely, I realized that it was mimicking Emily's voice, arguing back. Its language ability was terrifying. At noon, Emily banged on our door, saying that Tommy was in trouble. I followed Linda to their place. Jack's gone too far. Mom, if you side with him, I'm done. Jack didn't back down. Fine, let's divorce. Emily froze, not expecting him to agree. It was just angry words. Her eyes reddened, and she sat on the bed, crying. I noticed a strand of reddish-brown fur on the bed and red welts on Tommy. It clicked. The fox had a skin disease, untreated by Jack and Emily. Jack, fresh from holding the fox, likely brought it to bed, infecting Tommy. Ignoring their child, they fought. Linda, holding Tommy in her arms, tried to calm things down. Where's the fox? I asked suddenly. Emily scoffed. You and Jack are the same, always about the fox. Is a beast more important than my son? You're his aunt, don't you care about him? I ignored her. Emily loved taking advantage. You couldn't talk with her without mentioning money. I'd helped them enough. I found the fox chained in the bathroom, its fur matted with blood. It growled unconsciously at my approach. I softened my voice. It's me. Hearing me, it opened its eyes weakly. After a moment, it stretched a paw toward me, whimpering. Clever thing, knowing that Jack ignored it, it sought my help. It rolled onto its side, exposing its belly. I noticed its slightly swollen abdomen and its wet, sticky fur near its hindquarters. I touched it, a dark glint flashed across my eyes. A miscarriage. Emily's cruelty had killed the fox's unborn pups. The other pair of green eyes I'd seen were likely its mate. I stood, grabbing medicine from the living room. When I returned, the fox was unconscious. I tossed 2 anti-inflammatory pills into its mouth. Live or die, it was up to fate. Chapter 5. Jack and Emily's fight ended quickly. Within days, they were back to normal, eagerly inviting relatives to the party celebrating the 1 month that had passed after Tommy was born. But when the party was about to start, Emily clutched her stomach, claiming she needed to go to the hospital. Linda took Tommy, sending Jack with her. Seeing Emily's pale face, vomiting, and clearly having a fever, I recognized food poisoning. Sure enough, Linda, after a call from them, took my hand solemnly. Claire, we must be more careful in the future. We must only eat fresh seafood. I nodded obediently. Mom, where's Tommy? Need me to watch him for a while? She waved it off. No need. He's sleeping next door. We'll take him home after seeing off the guests. Okay. As I spoke, a scream came from the hotel corridor. Where'd this beast come from? Catch it, beast. I looked up, catching a reddish-brown blur darting past. The fox. A feeling of uneasiness gripped me. I hurried to the room next door. Opening the door, I saw a sight I'd never forget. Tommy was lying in the crib, bloodied and mangled, blood was splattered everywhere. Fox paw prints were on his face, mocking, provocative. This was the fox's revenge. Emily killed its pups, so it killed her son. The stench of blood hit me, I wanted to throw up. I ran outside, vomiting like hell. This fox was ruthless, vengeful. A lifetime ago, my words against it led to my family's death. Emily's cruelty cost her son. Cold sweat soaked my clothes, clinging to my back. When Jack and Emily rushed back from the hospital, Tommy's body was already taken away by the police. Emily collapsed. Mark caught her, but she shoved him away, screaming, "How did you watch my son? Didn't we say never leave him alone?" Mark opened his mouth but only said in the end, "I'm sorry for your loss." Emily, eyes bloodshot and consumed by rage, turned on me, raising her hand. Mark stepped in, taking the slap. Emily, calm down. We're all heartbroken. Claire's pregnant. If you need to take it out on someone, hit me. Or name what you want. We'll do whatever we can. Fine. I want her to pay with her son's life. Emily pointed at me. Linda stood before me, her voice firm. Emily, Tommy's death isn't Claire's fault. If you want a life, take mine. She rushed toward the balcony. I grabbed her waist, stopping her. Mom, why should you pay for this? It's the fox's fault. Linda, afraid of hurting my belly, stopped struggling, collapsing onto the couch, her eyes hollow. Emily shrieked, the fox? You dare mention that fox? If you hadn't saved it back then, would my son be dead now? You murderer. Jack chimed in, exactly. How can a beast be that smart? Someone's behind it. Mark, usually patient, snapped, watch your words. If you hadn't kept the fox in the first place, none of this would have happened. What's that got to do with me? You're heartless yourself, so I can't be kind? Enough. Linda roared, silencing the room. Exhausted, she faced Emily. Tommy was lost on my watch. Name your compensation. Emily sneered, give us both of the old houses as compensation. Linda shook her head. No, we agreed the big one for you, the small one for Claire. Claire's taken care of us all these years. I was already unfair. No way you'll get both. Emily yelled, I don't care. Either you die, or give me the houses. Choose one. Chapter 6. Mark looked at Jack. You'd let Mom die? Jack frowned, conflicted, but soon decided. Mark, you're already well off. You don't need another house. My son died on your watch. There's got to be someone to be held accountable. As Linda moved toward the balcony again, I said, fine, you get both of the houses, but on one condition. Emily scoffed, you're in no position to negotiate. I ignored her, stating, let's split the family, now that you've got what you want. Mom lives with us, and we cut contact from now on. Emily's lips curled. Good. I've never liked you. Once we're split, move out and don't even call. Jack's expression changed subtly, but he stayed silent. The agreement, in duplicate, was signed under a lawyer's witness, drawing the line. The fox fled, Jack and Emily left, and my life seemed calm again. But I knew it wasn't over. I watched my newborn in his crib, unable to close my eyes, fearing a repeat of that tragedy a lifetime ago. Whimpering howls outside the hospital room went on for a week, just like what had happened before. Low moans, then wails, chilling me. Learning from last time, I hired 3 nannies to watch my baby round the clock, installing surveillance cameras with alarms triggered by any 4-legged intruders. On discharge day, Emily called, inviting us to their new place. At the complex, an older woman stopped me. You're Jack's family, right? Mark and I exchanged glances, surprised. Was Jack's family that notorious here? She nodded, sighing. Go talk some sense into him. He needs to sign the demolition contract. It's pointless if he keeps making a fuss. I raised an eyebrow. Why pointless? She shook her head. Demolition pay is by area. Whether it's a commercial tower or housing, it's the same for us. Jack heard a tower could earn more, so he's demanding an extra $2 million. No way that will work. He's rallied some tenants to protest with him, and now payment for everyone is delayed. I nodded, staying neutral. I'd heard the old house's demolition rates fair, even slightly high. Their current penthouse was a discounted developer perk. Their behavior was like cursing the cook after licking their plate clean. Drag it out, and the developer would handle them. Sure enough, next I heard, the demolition work was done. Jack, Emily, and other holdouts' houses still stood. Whether intentional or not, the developer built the tower's toilets right across from their house, the stench hitting them at the door. They rallied holdouts to protest every day, but the developer shut them down. Chapter 7. You are the ones who refused to sign the papers. Later, Jack and Emily were evicted from their penthouse, huddling in the old house instead, chased and beaten by angry holdouts. They could have sold them for a good price, but their greed left them with nothing. Jack quit his job, hauling bags to beg the developer to buy his house, even at a low price. The developer ignored him. Desperate, he called Mark, knowing his connections could help. I stayed silent, letting Mark run around pulling strings for his brother. When the developer finally relented, Jack got cocky again, demanding the original demolition rate. Predictably, the deal was off. Mark, furious, stopped taking their calls. Linda, hearing this, was livid but couldn't abandon her son, secretly supporting them with her pension. I didn't expect their level of shamelessness. Claire, where'd you move to? Did you rent out your old place? I knew they'd gone to our old complex looking for us. Good thing I'd moved soon after they left. We sold it and bought a new place. Where are you now? Send me the address, Jack, and I will come over. I didn't answer, asking, Emily, what's up? A pause, then their hushed whispers. Nothing, just missed you guys. Plus, Mom's with you, we want to visit her. I glanced at Linda's hopeful eyes, hesitated, and sent the address. At dinner, Jack and Emily announced they weren't leaving. Claire, prepare the guest room. Jack and I are staying. I nearly laughed. Our new place was big, but with only 3 bedrooms, ours, Linda's, and the nursery. Give them the guest room, and where would Linda sleep? With their bags, they had clearly planned to stay before coming here. Emily, we don't have a spare room. Take a cab home. Just give us that room. It's small, but it'll do. I laughed coldly. That's Mom's room. Her face darkened. We won't stay long. Let Mom sleep on the couch. Jack's meeting the developer tomorrow. He's exhausted and needs rest to get the money. Blaming me for their demolition failure now? The room fell silent. Mark and Linda lost their last bit of love for them too. When I stood to kick them out, neither stopped me. For a long time, Mark and Linda refused to hear Jack and Emily's names or their recents. Annoying calls were blocked. I stared at the calendar, counting down silently. Chapter 8. Evicted, Jack and Emily returned to the old house. Emily texted every day, from arrogance to groveling, amusing me. She even tried using Linda to talk some sense into me. I treated it like a joke. One night, she texted, "The fox is back." My sleepy mind snapped awake. I sat up, replying, "How do you know?" No response. I opened the old house's camera feed, installed before we moved. Only the main room had one. Emily was sitting on the bed, staring blankly out the window, as if something terrifying was lurking outside. I turned up the volume. Ha 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 ha. The familiar cackle sent chills down my spine. I gripped my baby's crib tight, staring at the screen. The window Emily faced was pitch black. As I moved to adjust the camera, a knock came from their door. Thump, thump thump, thump thump thump. The bear. Bears mimic how humans knock. If she opened that door, Emily would be gutted, tortured to death like me a lifetime ago. I held my breath, fingers tightening around my phone, momentarily forgetting we weren't in the same place. Who's there? Emily's voice trembled. She grabbed a fruit knife, moving toward the door slowly. It's me. Open the door. Jack, not the bear? Emily's shoulders relaxed, unlocking the door without hesitation. Why so late? Ah. A massive shadow lunged at her, pinning her down. Jack fell, panicking. Don't eat me. Help. He crawled toward the door, but twitched suddenly and went silent. The bear turned to him, dragging him back by his leg. I saw the fox's head by Jack's neck, its teeth sunk into his artery. Blood gushed as it pulled free. The fox looked up, as if sensing the camera, its green eyes locking onto me. A chill hit me. As I looked away, it turned, joining the bear to feast. Wild beasts torture prey cruelly, especially bears. They don't kill their victims outright, instead they enjoy the process. They would start eating from the belly or limbs, letting the prey watch itself be consumed alive. A lifetime ago, the fox and bear killed me this way. The bear mimicked knocking, the fox slipped into the funeral parlor. As the door opened, they pounced, taking Mark and me down. I wanted to leap into the screen now with a knife to slaughter them. Jack and Emily's prolonged torment eased my resentment. A lifetime ago, their schemes killed me. This life, they reaped what they sowed. When Jack brought the fox home, Emily, knowing fully well that I disliked it, fawned over it in front of me, bringing it over every day and telling it I hated it. Jack backed her, warning the fox to avoid me or risk its own death. I didn't care, seeing it as just an animal, no different from a cat or dog. Since I wasn't the one raising it, their words didn't affect me even the slightest. But I hadn't expected that, hearing about the demolition, they'd plot to kill me. They sent the fox to lurk near my house at night, mimicking women's and children's cries to torment me mentally. They even hired a fortune teller to claim the house's aura would harm my baby, urging me to give the bigger house to them, as theirs could tackle it. Learning that the fox could understand human speech, they took it to the hospital, ordering it to kill my son. Piecing it all together, I was certain they were behind the attack on the funeral. How else could a bear move from the woods to the graveyard undetected? They wanted our whole family dead to claim all the demolition money. I watched the feed on my phone until the fox and bear, with their bellies full, lay down. Then I called the police. They arrived, shooting the bear dead. The fox took a bullet but escaped. Not finding it kept me on edge. It was too vengeful and too cunning. Who could say it wouldn't blame us? I couldn't bear losing my family again. To evade it, I packed the next day, taking Mark, Linda, and our son on a trip. We toured the country's wonders, seeing sights we'd missed. But the fox's escape left me feeling like a blade is hanging over me every day. I never stayed anywhere long. Thankfully, Mark, Linda, and our son enjoyed the trip. Linda, who'd never left the state, smiled more, her spirit brighter. Mark and I were genuinely happy for her. Fox, fox? My son pointed at a pelt on a nearby stall. I froze, my heart leapt wildly. My neck stiffened like rusted gears. Mark followed his finger, chuckling, "Yep, that's fox fur." As we left, I glanced back. The reddish-brown pelt bore a distinct scar, at exactly where the fox was shot. I exhaled. The nightmare was finally over. The end. And that's a wrap on today's reading here at Booked for Drama. If you felt anything, rage, swoon, secondhand heartbreak, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow drama lovers. If you have any requests, drop them in the comments. Until next time, keep reading, and keep the drama on the page.